You're all set.
Thank you. Good evening. This is the July 27th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Newcastle.
Okay, first applicant tonight is Wooten at 7 Dunster Road. Are they with us?
Is the applicant online? Mr. and Mrs. Wooten?
I thought they were. What happened?
It looks like they're connecting.
Okay.
I see connecting to audio. Matt Wooten, are you online now? Still connecting. Mr. Wooten, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, great. You're up.
Looks like he's muted as well.
Mr. Wooten, can you please unmute yourself?
Apologies. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great, thanks.
So, Mr. Wooten, can you tell us why you're before us this evening?
Yes, I can. We are looking for a variance to put a shed in our side yard. And we are looking to make sure that it's not too close to our home, not too far away from other homes, and to put it in the corner of our property.
And how did you arrive at this particular location?
So it's in the corner, side of our property where it won't be a problem for our neighbors, both back and to the right side, so rear and to the right side, and well far away from the front and from our left side neighbors. So it's unobtrusive.
And so why wouldn't it be something that your closest neighbors could see or be concerned about?
So our closest neighbors could see it, but it's going to be below the fence line. We've texted one neighbor who said it's fine. The other neighbor we have not yet spoken to, but again, it should be out of their sight line, behind their home, and well behind where their outside space is.
Mr. Wooten, could you fill us in for the record the information about the 2 existing sheds that are proposed to be removed? How did they get there and how long have they been there?
I'm sorry, Tony, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Having a hard time hearing me? Sorry about that. Well, I was asking about the existing sheds on your property. You're proposing to remove them. Can you give us a little history about them, just for the record?
Yes, so there's 2 unpermitted existing sheds when we bought the home. We've torn both of those down.
Oh, you have already?
We have already, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a help.
Yeah. So we wanted to get rid of 2 unpermitted sheds and then do the right thing and permit a shed.
Very good. Thank you.
Pam, is there anyone online to speak to this matter?
There's
that I'm
no
aware
one.
of.
There's no one to speak to this matter at this time. No, no one has their hand raised.
Thank you. Any other questions by the board? I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Yay?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte.
Aye.
Howard Dubs. Oh, I don't think he's here. I'm sorry. And Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I move that the Wooten application for a side yard setback of 5 feet and a rear yard setback of 25 feet be approved for the following reasons. The applicant has, before coming before the board, removed 2 sheds on his property that I believe he inherited when he acquired the property. This shed will be in a corner of the lot below the fence line, so that it should not interfere with sight lines by neighboring individuals. No neighbors came forward to speak in opposition. There will be no undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. The benefit cannot be sought through other means. The requested variances are not substantial. There will be no adverse impact on the physical environment. The alleged difficulty, however, is self-created. You will have 6 months to start, 1 year to complete. And will this shed rest on a foundation or stone, or
Yes, it will,
which of those?
on a foundation.
Okay, so we'll need a foundation survey prior to framing.
Understood. Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Yay?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Wooten. You have your variance. Sis.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Next is Haldane, 16 Adams Road.
Can you hear me? Am I
Yes.
on?
Yes, David, you're on.
Yeah, hi. So this is 16 Adams Road. There's an existing enclosed porch that we want to, that's a 3 seasons room, and we want to insulate it, sheetrock it, add a door and a window in the existing structure, and heat it. And so in order to do that, we need a side yard variance because the existing setback is 14 feet. We're in a 2-acre zone where 45 feet is required on the right back. And also because back in the 80s, there was a tennis court and swimming pool that is on this property. The development coverage, requires a variance. We're not adding any new development, but the existing conditions require that to be part of the application. So we've included drawings and elevations and photographs of, the house and the neighbors, and in particular the property line, which is the closest property line. There's a evergreen planting already all the way along the property line.
Okay.
Any comments by the board?
No, so David, this is all pre-existing non-conforming?
Yes, the structure was there 82 or earlier. I actually did a work on the house in 82, 40 years ago. And the structure was there then.
Thank
It's
you.
just that they're the father in the family, who was a very noted graphic designer and painter, taught at Cooper Union. They've inherited his archives, the collection of all of his paintings. So that caused the need to have an area where they could, store something. So what we're hoping to be able to do is to just insulate and heat the existing building.
Pam, is there anyone online to speak to this matter?
No, there isn't. No, there's no one to speak to this matter at this time. No.
Okay.
So David, so what you're saying is there'll be no change to the existing footprint of the structure?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Or the shell of the building. We're just adding a door and an existing
Right.
wall and two
Okay.
windows on the kind of interior of the property where nobody sees them.
Got it.
I move that we close public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
I'll make a motion. I move that the Haldane application for a side yard variance of 31 feet and development coverage variance, where there will be no increase in the development coverage, where the maximum permitted development coverage is 11,669. The proposed is 13,882 as it is today. These be
13,992, Ken.
13,990.
992 was
Oh.
changed.
Oh, okay.
13,992.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Be approved for the following reasons. The applicant is converting an existing room that's currently being used for storage into habitable space without increasing any of the variances that are required to make that conversion. This will allow for better use of this room as it relates to the current owners. There will be no change in the character of the neighborhood. The benefit cannot be sought through other means. This is a pre-existing non-conforming site. The requested variances, particularly the setback, side yard setback, is substantial, but no greater than it is today. There will be no adverse impact on the physical environment, and the alleged difficulty is not self-created. You'll have 6 months to start, 1 year to complete. Tom, is there an as-built survey that you need or anything else?
Not with this, sir. It's pre-existing.
No. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Thank you. You have your variances.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you very much.
You're
Very
welcome.
welcome.
Next applicant is Bogdan, 9 Cedar Lane.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ken. I want to thank the board for listening to my appeal this evening. So I'm seeking a 15-foot variance from the standard setback to construct a shed. My Cape home has small bones, and so that this would be really ample storage for us. It would be appreciated. A large portion of my property in my backyard is significantly sloped with large ledge outcroppings. So strict adherence to the 35-foot setback would require excavation of the sloped area and an engineer to design a retaining wall on two sides of the shed to hold back the soil post-excavation. Another complicating factor in meeting the existing requirement it's inaccessible by heavy equipment. And so I would have to actually excavate by hand and do all the construction by hand. So I'm looking for approval of this variance to avoid the engineering and construction associated with this project. I have some pictures of the backyard. I did not submit them in my application. I don't know if I can share my screen or present them right now, if people find that helpful.
Sure.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
We can.
Okay,
So the proposed shed location is actually behind that playground area. You can see there's obviously a significant slope on the left in the large rock outcroppings. On the right side is the rhododendrons, is also a slope down. So I don't have a tremendous amount of usable area in my backyard. So I preferred, the location I've selected that does not adhere to the 30-foot setback is sort of the preferred location. Obviously, I do have area in front of it where the playground is, but it's less than ideal. This is the view of my neighbor's house from the proposed shed site. It would be viewable from their house, through trees. If that's helpful but it's not a clear sight lines.
are those propane tanks yours or your neighbors?
Those are my neighbors. It's hard to see. The line is actually, there's a fence on where the line is that is in front of the propane tanks.
Okay, so what is the house behind it? Is that your house or your neighbor's house?
That's the neighbor's house. This would be the site from the neighbor's house. I just wanted to inform the board of what was visible, because this is the only neighbor that would be concerned of this proposed location.
Okay. So your shed is gonna be blocking those propane tanks or in that vicinity, that's the story?
The shed would be, I actually have another photo. The shed would be in the location strict right behind the playground set in this photo.
Okay. All right, good.
Are your children okay with the location of the shed?
If I didn't adhere to the setback, they would take up their playground space. So they're very happy with this location.
Pam, is there anyone online wishing to be heard on this matter?
No, there isn't, not at this time, no.
Okay. I move we close the public hearing.
I second that.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Would like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that the Bogdan application for the construction of a shed that requires a 20-foot, 15-foot side yard variance be approved for the following reasons. The property in question is very difficult to deal with, as there's a lot of ledge rock and slopes, and there are very few places that would be convenient or suitable to construct a shed. The shed location as chosen by the applicant seems to be well screened and the best place for it on the particular property. There have been no objections to the construction of the shed by any of the neighbors. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change to the neighborhood. There is no other method possible to achieve the desired result. There will be no adverse effect on the physical environment if this is granted. This could be considered a self-created hardship due to the requested variance, but due to the topography, that self-creation is minimalized. We will need a final survey completion, and you have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish.
Thank you very much, Lord.
We're not done yet.
1
Oh,
second.
not done. I'm sorry.
I'll second that.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardino,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Bogdan. You have your variance.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, everybody.
You too.
Next is Pappas, 7 Mid Place.
Hi, Board. Tim Leonard, architect representing the Pappases tonight. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen and walk you through a presentation.
Yep.
So entering the neighborhood here, up starting from West Place, this is Mid Place here. I think it's important so you understand the size of most of these properties and the open space that's around most of them, which is pretty generous, in fact. And that's why I think it's sometimes easier just to see, the vast amounts of open area around each property, especially on the left side of the Pappas's house here. This is the area where we're planning or hoping to build a bathroom and laundry area. And you can see the property next door is a large property. I'm going to show you the GIS map in a minute, but it's extremely well screened from this neighbor over here, as you can see from this angle. The neighbor across the street is set back pretty far. I believe they actually have a lot and a half here. So again, just a good amount of open space. I'm gonna share this one. Let me find the right one. So this is where we went down from west to mid. There's the Pappas's house. And I wanted to show you kind of in scale what the kind of average size of lots are in this neighborhood, which is the half-acre zoning. And to kind of give you a sense of scale, this lot here is exactly a half an acre, which most of them seem to be. Some are substantially larger, and a couple of them, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 of them might be a little bit less. But I'm pretty sure the Pappases have one of the smallest lots in the neighborhood. And that's one of the problems that gets created when you're talking about adding floor area and having issues with FAR, which is, I think what is our main issue tonight. So going over to I'm going to actually continue about open space. In the back of the Pappas's property that you couldn't see from the road, they recently just planted these evergreen trees from the neighbor who would, another neighbor who would be able to see this addition if it does get built. So here's the site plan. The pink area is the area where we'd like to build on top of an already existing footprint. There's no planned expansion beyond the footprint. In fact, this footprint already got a variance from the board back in 1998. It used to be a screened-in porch, and they converted it to an office space. They needed the variance, which they were granted. I believe they also got a front yard variance because it was just over that line. So when we were designing this new space, I wanted to at least avoid a front yard variance for one thing. Plus, I think it's important to think about the scale of the addition that we were putting on to make it be in the correct scale for this particular house and give it a lower sense of volume as viewed from the street. So this is the side view of that, den area that used to be a screen porch. This is the area we like to build on top of. And when you go down to the side elevation, you can see what we did is essentially left a few feet of that existing roof line. I came up to a 5.5 foot high knee wall to drop this massing down a little bit. And we created a little front facing dormer that actually matches the detail of their front porch. The back elevation would be the full 2 stories. It's only a 7 foot high wall in the back, which keeps the scale down slightly from normal 8 foot walls. But I think we came up with a pretty nice architectural solution. The ARB was very happy with it. They liked what we did with the scale and the aesthetics overall when we saw them last month. This is the view from the front. There's the existing roof line. Here's the low knee wall. This is the new gable dormer to match this. And the whole idea of this is to be able to help them get their laundry. One of the reasons, get their laundry out of the basement, which it's where it's been the entire time, which is a full 2 flights down from this level. One of the issues, again, with the FAR is having to include half of unfinished basement that's completely below ground really doesn't have any effect on the massing of this building, which I think is one of the reasons the FAR law was even created, was to help contain mass and overbuilding of property. And I think that what we did here is very much in keeping with the scale of this house and the neighborhood. In fact, the Pappases are pretty well liked in their neighborhood. They sent the plans to a bunch of their neighbors, and 6 of them that replied very happy. They want them to do their laundry for them now. It's the whole thing where the neighborhood knows about it. They're all on board, and we're just hoping you guys are too.
Okay.
Can we sign up for the laundry business?
Depends. What's your answer tonight?
So should there be any concern about the second story and light infiltration to neighbors?
None whatsoever. You saw the picture to the left. It's all wooded area. And if I scroll back up, this is the area that's to the left of the addition. So that tree line I showed you was right here. The neighbor is way down here. And this is just another lot that is, well, it's part of this lot, but it's a big lot. It's the biggest one in the neighborhood. So there's no effect on light or air to anybody else.
And the mass of this new structure doesn't put it out of proportion to the rest of the neighborhood?
Not at all. I believe if I went back to the other street view, if I can find it somewhere now, hold on. Yeah, I might have lost that one, but where is it? It's this one. So a lot of the other neighbors have low-lying eaves with dormers here and there. So it's kind of similarly scaled. Somebody has dormers here. Hold on a minute. There you go, across the street. It's the same kind of thing. So here's another example of dormers that are, not set back as far as they probably should have been, but it's the same kind of architecture and scale as the rest of the neighborhood. Yes.
Okay. Pam, is there anyone who wishes to be heard on this matter?
There's no one with their hand raised this time, no.
Thank you. Any other questions by the board?
So just to be clear, the footprint is not being increased at all.
That's 100% correct. So property is also, the building is also very low on building coverage and development coverage. It's strictly the FAR is the only thing to do with the massing here.
If no other questions by the board, I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, the application of Christopher Pappas and Amy Pappas for the following necessary variances to be approved. They'll need a 456 square foot floor area ratio variance. They'll need a 5-foot side yard setback variance, and they'll need a 20.7 foot combined side yard setback variance. And it should be approved for the following reasons. The proposed construction will not increase the footprint of the existing building. It's just going up 1 story. There have been no neighbors in opposition to this application. The proposed use of the addition will greatly benefit the homeowner and help them from having to travel up and down from the basement to the laundry without any adverse effect on the neighborhood. Granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. This variance is, in this particular instance, the variances requested are not substantial. There'll be no physical adverse effect on the physical environment. while this is a self-created hardship, it is de minimis and the benefit to the applicant will far outweigh any perceived detriment to the neighborhood or the town. There'll be no need for final surveys as they are not increasing the footprint of the structure. And if we could start within 6 months, finish within a year, I propose that we grant.
I'll second.
Chairman Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Thank you. You have your variance.
Thanks very much, board. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next one is Thomas at 34 Morton Place.
Okay, I'm back. Gonna do the same routine. We're gonna go down the street and then show you the building. So this is tucked in back of the library on a couple of private roads. It starts over off Smith Street, winds around to eventually on Glenside here. The Thomas's property is over here to the left. There's some neighbors, tucked back over on the right. Very nice screening between all the properties. And behind these shrubs here is the area where we're talking about getting the variance for this deck and stair. This is the front of the house. No work is being done here whatsoever. And the library is actually back over that way. Okay, so looking at it from the sky, there's the library. Smith is over here. You come down. This is Glenside. Here's the Thomas's house. And this is the area that we're talking about doing the work in. The reason we're here tonight is strictly for the deck and the little step coming off of it. The addition we're building has no impact on setbacks or coverage or FAR or anything else like that. So you obviously can see it's a corner lot. And once again, this property at a previous owner, when they built this breakfast area sunroom, they came before the board and got a variance to be at this distance, 41.2. Currently, there's a stone patio on grade over here, down a couple of steps. And what we'd like to do is build up a wood deck about 1.5 feet off the ground is all the impact with a 3-foot railing on it from here to here, and be in alignment with that existing facade of the breakfast room. But because I don't want to build the steps into the deck, I'd prefer to have them come outward for construction purposes and useful purposes. So we need a variance both for the step and the deck. And you can see the view from Glenside is here. This is the room that got the variance previously. This is the new deck that's up 1.5 feet in alignment with that wall there. There's your 3-foot open railing and the couple of non-impactful steps coming down from it. This is from the back view, standing in the backyard. You can see we are in alignment with the deck there. And in floor plan, it's basically the same thing. Here's the deck in alignment. 2 treads is all I need to get out of there. And that way the deck can make a nice connection from this existing patio door over to the new screen porch. They have a little bit of a wetland in the back that produces a lot of bugs. So it would be really beneficial to have an area they can be outside when it is buggy and still, come in and out as they want when it's not so buggy. And that's it.
Did you consider pulling the deck back so that the stairs didn't require a variance?
I did, but it's just kind of it's just so much easier to build it like this, and the railing can end properly, and I don't have to reframe the base. It's such a simple little thing. So the steps are only about 4 foot wide, 6 inches high each. It's really a super low impact for the steps.
And the deck itself, from the architecturals, looks to be substantial in terms of what you're able to do with it, in terms of, I guess, seating, both at a...
Yeah, it's basically the same size as the patio that's there now. It's just raised up 1.5 feet. That's really it. So, but the space they have now is essentially the same.
Okay. Was there anyone wishing to be heard on this matter?
There's no one with their hand raised at this time, no.
Thank you. Any other questions by the board? Move that we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
I'll make a motion. I move that so is Mrs. Thomas's first name Joyce's?
Joyce, yes.
Okay. That the Thomas application for the construction of a deck and stairs which will take an existing patio and raise it up, so 1.5 feet,
Yes.
1.5 feet, so that they can enjoy the outdoors, be approved for the following reasons. The applicant will, this change will not result in a change to the character of the neighborhood. Certainly will allow for greater enjoyment of the property on the part of the applicant. There are no neighbors who have spoken in opposition. The benefit cannot be sought through other means. The requested variance is not substantial. There'll be no adverse impact on the physical environment, and the alleged difficulty is not self-created. You'll have 6 months to start, 1 year to complete. There shall be a foundation survey prior to framing.
I'll second that.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Aye.
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Thank you. You have your variance.
Super. Thanks again, board.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Have a good night.
I make a motion that the board adopt the meeting minutes for the June 29th meeting.
I'll second that.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Favor?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
So you're doing that thing again, Jackie, with disguising your voice?
So it's the first day I have a voice. My daughter had RSV. So then I got sick. I don't have a voice. It's crazy. So I apologize.
That's okay.
No apology necessary. Should feel better.
Thank you.
Better.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you. Have a good
Okay.
night.